How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a supporters club. It has been a little while, but the season is upon us. Game week 1 is around the corner, a few days away. Nottingham Forest at the Emirates, and we've just won the Community Shield at Wembley against Manchester City on penalties after a 1-1 draw, having coming back into it. I think we scored in like the 98th, 99th minute, if I'm not mistaken. But we got the Community Shield in the bag. Whether you think that's a trophy or not, debate that somewhere else, because I've been debating it too much over the last 48 hours. But let's talk about the season and if we feel ready. Do we need anything else? And all of that, people. You know what it is already. Hit the like button. Let's try and get to 1,000 nice and early. And make sure you leave us comments after with your thoughts and predictions and suggestions and all of that, because I like to go through them and I reply here and there too. Let's get into it. Guess, as always, let's start with the legend, Chris Hudson, there on the far right. What are you saying, Chris?
I'm looking forward to the season, Turkish, really am. We're going to discuss the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah.
I was a bit faulty with people.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I'm all ready to go, mate. I was very impressed yesterday.
And you're glowing, fresh off holiday.
Yeah, I went to Italy.
Nice.
Very nice. I had a week away from Twitter.
You need that.
You do need that.
I switched off. It was lovely.
You need that. Big up Chris,
There you go.
and obviously big up Curtis Shaw. What are you saying,
bro.
Curtis?
Good to be here. You know, it's nice to see Chris. What was it, about 10 years ago, the famous interview? Now look, he's calm, he's tanned, he's smiling. We must be making progress, you know what I mean?
And I love Tim Payton.
You've got to remix that interview one
Yeah,
day. If we
do
win the
another
league,
one.
if we win the league, I need a remix of that interview.
It'll be really funny.
Remember, people, Curtis does have his own channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Me and Curtis will be doing regular content together on my channel and his channel too, so make sure you subscribe, Curtis Shaw TV. I'll put it in the title. Subscribe to my channel, Turkish LDN. And to find Chris, Supporters Club seems to be his home now, and he's very welcome, so make sure you like the video and show the video some love, subscribe, put the notification bell on, all of that, people. But let's get into it. Let's start with the goalkeeper situation, Chris, because you know, at the start of the transfer window, when you mentioned another goalkeeper, I was a bit confused by it, and I think the guest we had on at the time was a bit confused by it. But fast forward 4 weeks later, David Raya seems to be nearing the line. Matt Turner's off to Forest, and it seems that we're going to upgrade in the backup goalkeeper position at the moment. Whether people believe he'll be the backup for long or not, that's another debate. But are you happy with the news that we're signing another keeper?
Yeah, I don't think people are saying, oh, he's here to replace Ramsdale. It's like a Lukic Seaman situation. No, it's not. He's here to compete with Ramsdale and possibly push him on. I just think this season I don't want to overplay players.
Yeah.
And that includes the keeper. There's a lot of players last season, by the end, were dead on their feet.
Yeah.
And I include Ramsdale, what we've learnt, very sad news.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if I've I thought, you know, I want to leave him out because he's not mentally right, e.g. Southampton at home, when he gave that mistake and goal away. And perhaps he didn't trust Turner. And he doesn't want to be in that situation again. So it's not to be, people go, oh, you can't get rid of Ramsdale. They're going to compete.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with competing.
That's what great teams are about, competition.
So end off.
And we just re-signed Ramsdale to a new contract as well. So I think we're in a very healthy position in the goalkeeper department, Curtis.
Do you know what? I was listening to an interview with David Seaman where he was saying when Richard Wright got signed a long time ago and they paid big money at the time for him, and David said it pushed him onto another level because he knew somebody was, you know, snapping at his heels. So I said last week, one of two things happen. Either David Raya is better than Ramsdale, or Ramsdale's game goes to a different level because of the pressure behind him. So I think it's a win-win situation, and I think if you get close to 10 million for Turner and you get Raya for, they're saying about 27 million, that's overall going to be less than 20 million for a very highly rated keeper. I mean, Bayern Munich were in for him, Tottenham, they reckon United were looking at him. Listen, if we want to get back to the top, we've got to create the best squad in all areas of the pitch. So for me, it's a positive thing bringing in a keeper.
And fine margins matter, especially when you're going up against Man City.
Yeah.
If you can save an extra 3 points in the season with an upgrade like that, then that's what we need. And I'm with you. Competition should breed, you know, better performances. Should be the mentality, like Seaman said, of he ain't gonna take my space.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that this space, this spot is mine. And that's what Ramsdale needs to, you know, approach it like, in my opinion. I think he's got that character too. When you saw him in All or Nothing, and regardless of a win, having conceded a goal, he's upset. He's got that character mentality that I actually like. with opposition fans, he rallies up the crowd. I like that. A lot of people kind of try and, you know, take swipes at him for that. I like that mentality. I like that part of the game. And Ramsdale has that in abundance. But there have been errors across last season. We've learned, like Chris said, that he was going through stuff, to say the least. So we can't look into a couple of those mistakes too much. But at the same time, we just finished behind Man City and looking at ways to improve our side. I guess goalkeeping competition is one of those.
And say Ramsdale got injured, would you be confident with Turner in goal?
No.
And Hine as your backup with Turner? No, you know, so sorry.
Yeah. Great teams need to be ruthless, and I think we're showing a ruthless edge, especially since Arteta's come in terms of the revamp of the squad, and now little fixes here. Tavares comes in, doesn't work out, he's off on loan the next year. Sambi comes in 2 years on, he's on the transfer list. During, you know, the times under Wenger, we kind of were stubborn in the sense that when players weren't performing, we'd still keep them. Not only keep them, we'd rely on them, and it just became a mess, and that's why, you know, part of why we declined so much, in my opinion. So that's good news, and we won't dwell on it too much because it's not over the line yet. It should be soon. But the Community Shield, Curtis, what did you make of it? I mean, a lot of people class it as the first trophy. Like I said, that's a debate for another day. But as a curtain raiser, we hadn't beaten Man City. But they've beaten us in the last 8 games. We haven't beaten them for a little while.
FA Cup semi-final, COVID.
Cup. Yeah. Which is what, 3 years ago now? Yeah. So I think it was a welcome result not to lose the game. But what did you make of the win, and how much of an impact do you think it can have on our season?
I think psychologically it was massive for us. I think we needed to win the game more than they needed it. I think City have lost the last 3 Community Shields. I mean, they won the treble last year after losing to Liverpool. So I just think for us to... Listen, it is silverware, whether you consider it anything major or not. You know, when you take that team photo, it's going to be in front of you. So I think we need to use it as a platform to build on. Obviously now, the next time we play against Man City in the league, you're looking now saying, use what you got from that last game and take it forward. What I liked about the game so much is it felt like 2 teams who were at a similar level. I know they won the treble and they will say, listen, that looked like 2 very good teams. I thought tactically it was a very interesting game. 100%. I know a lot of people said, the game wasn't that exciting. Neutrals were saying that. I thought it was a very interesting game. City dominated at the start, then we grew into it, we got chances, and they sort of came back. I really like the way we're playing football at the moment. I enjoy watching Arsenal play. I thought Timber yesterday was unbelievable. Like, he could be the signing of the season if that carries on. I think it's a platform to build on. What we do from here is what's important. You know, we can't play against them in the league and just get rolled over. Then that game doesn't mean much. You've got to. I think Ramsdale said it after the game. He said psychologically in the dressing room now we've beaten them. You know, we've lifted a trophy, whatever. So use it going forward. You can't keep losing to them. You know, you've got to have that thing about you now that we can beat them. So I think it's a massive lift for the team going forward.
100%, Chris.
Well, is it a tournament worth winning? Jose Mourinho, who's a serial winner, lists charity shields as trophies won.
Yeah.
So that'd do me as A. And B, it was wonderful watch Arsenal versus Man City and not get steamrolled.
Yeah.
And not to be embarrassed. And the one thing he did haunt me was watching Saliba.
Yeah.
I know you can't, but if he hadn't got injured,
you can't rewind
I
time.
think we would have won the title.
I don't disagree, Chris.
I mean, I love defenders.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, he's
special.
He's unbelievable, isn't he?
I was just letting Timber.
Yeah, as much as Chris said, signing of the season, I think in terms of us now, obviously we can't judge it until the season's played out, but Timber does look like the signing that I'm most excited about amongst the lot. But I think Saliba's contract is probably the best piece of business we've done all summer.
Do you know what's interesting? I was an attacking player. I'm all for attacking players. But there's an excitement watching Saliba defend. And Timber seems to have that same thing. Like, he's aggressive, he wins the ball back. And you look at the price we got him for in a market that lacks a lot of value.
Yeah.
Under £40 million for him.
Crazy.
The interesting thing was he came to England to watch Man United against Man City, and they thought he was going to United. He was actually signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, Edu was.
I think is brilliant, to be honest. But Yeah, he just looks
and
a
he can
proper
play
player.
right back, centre half, left back, and midfield.
Yeah.
He's come out from the Ajax school, hasn't he?
Yeah, modern day footballer.
He's just a beautiful player. I love
Exactly
him.
what Arteta likes him, which plays a bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
So we won the Community Shield. You know, the first piece of silverware, I will call it silverware. I'm not too sure about a trophy, but yeah, we'll call it silverware. And now we move on to Forest. Lunchtime kickoff, the second game of the new season. Obviously, City are away to Burnley Friday night. So we'll see how they fare against, you know, club legend company over there. And then it's us, Forest at home. Turner will probably be in goal for them. But this season now, it's a big one, Chris. It's a big one for Mikel, it's a big one for Edu, it's a big one for the club, because the trajectory indicates that bare minimum we should be competing for the league again, and bare minimum we need to be getting into the latter stages of the Champions League. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's too much pressure to us?
No, but I'll tell you something, pressure will be on this season.
Yeah.
Every game we play, we're going to be scrutinised, and certain players are going to be scrutinised as well. We've got to be on it Saturday.
Yeah.
I want to really hope we start well, start off with a good victory.
Yeah.
But they're no mugs, Forest. I mean, I admire their manager. They'll come up, they'll be well set up. And the thing is, with Turner, he know all our secrets. I'm a little bit amazed that we've let this deal go through.
Yeah.
Or perhaps we've said you can't play Saturday, but then who are we to say that? He's a Forest player, isn't he?
Yeah, if he signs in a loan, I think you can say that.
But not. So that's got me a little bit worried, but I think we can start off with 3 points.
We should, Chris. As much as Nottingham Forest not played us off the park, but they came in with a game plan towards the end of last season and got the victory that essentially secured their status in the Premier League. The start of this season, we should be going and rolling them over.
Yeah, if you were going to pick a fixture, you would want to be at home, you'd want to be against one of the bottom half teams. They will be at it. I think we owe them one a little bit as well for that game at the back end of last season, you know.
I thought they took a bit of liberties.
They did, really. They went for us a little bit. I think we got our biggest victory of the season at home against Forest last year.
Is that when Nelson came on
and scored a couple. So, as Chris was saying about the whole season, for me, it's pretty obvious to say, but I think it's our biggest season under Arteta. Because, you know, when you're 8th and you're scrambling, the bar is very low, you're happy just to get back in Europe and so. I think now, as fans, deep down, we all expect something to happen now. You know, we nearly won the title, as Chris said. If Saliba was fit, we might have been champions now. We've questioned the owners a lot, me included, you, all of us.
Me?
Well, you're wearing merch, so something's going well, you know what I mean? But he spent over £200 million. That could go even beyond that if he buys the keeper and maybe someone else. So for me, with Arteta now, it's time to deliver. And delivering means silverware in terms of, you know, push Man City all the way, get to the latter stage of the Champions League, try and win them. And don't just dismiss the FA Cup. Don't dismiss. I feel at times, you know, we turn up, we make 8 changes, we get knocked out, we act like it doesn't matter. To me, it matters.
I love the FA Cup.
Community Shield felt great yesterday, and that's not even a major trophy. I would love to see Arsenal go and win the FA Cup. So I think we've got to try and win silverware this season.
You mentioned biggest season for Mikel Arteta, and it's probably, in my opinion, the biggest season in the Emirates era for me. Because I haven't felt this way since being at the Emirates, where I feel like we should compete. I feel like we can win the league. I feel like we are back up there again. And on the ownership point of view, yes, I am back in merch, because all I ask for is Arsenal to be challenging again, to spend like we should be able to spend as a big club, as a great club that was promised, you know, bigger things moving into the Emirates. So, you know, couple up the challenge last season with, you know, the 100 million rice deal. And going into this season is the first season that I don't look at the owners and I say they could have done more. I more so look at Mikel and say that Havertz deal, there's a lot resting on that, because 65 M's could have gone into another player or position. And in my opinion, and my opinion is just an opinion of a fan who sometimes gets things right, sometimes, or more time, gets things wrong. But my opinion is that the owners this summer, and across the last 2 summers, maybe even January included, have actually done what they should be doing. And if we're talking the last 3 windows, I haven't got a bad word to say about them. And that's the first time I've been in this position since they took over the club and since we moved into the Emirates. So the pressure is on. Chris, bare minimum this season, come May, what is the bare minimum for you?
The minimum is a trophy in top 4.
top 4. You wouldn't say top 2
Well,
or top 3.
but yeah, but the thing is, I still think last year it was just us and City, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All the others just fell away. But I expect Liverpool to come a little bit stronger next year.
So do I. Man United might.
And I think we will be fighting with 2 Manchester clubs, Liverpool, and if you want for a right left field, you're talking a load of crap. I'll be keeping an eye on Newcastle and Villa.
Yeah.
Because Villa especially done some really good business.
They have, and they had a great, not just end of season, but since Emery came in last season, they really showed up and they went from bottom half of the table to.
My dream is to win the
place.
Champions League final at Wembley. That'd do me.
Yeah. So if you had one trophy to win this
Champions
season,
League.
it's Champions League. Both of you.
100%.
Yeah.
I want that star above the badge.
Yeah.
And it's at Wembley.
And it's at Wembley.
Get on the tube.
European night. We'll call it European night in Wembley.
Local one.
No, I'd love nothing more. And I look at the competition in the Champions League now and compare it to the competition in the Champions League when we was in it 7 years ago. And in my opinion, the competition has dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah.
Big
I
time.
think Man City and Real Madrid have been favourites for the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years. You look at Real now, who've undergone a whole heap of changes. They're bringing in young players. Will they be ready for a Champions League run? They've got the heritage, but do they have but they've still got experienced players in there. But during a transition season, you'd expect Man City to be favourites again. So Arsenal have an opportunity there, not only in the league, but in the Champions League too. And that's why I want us to be ready going into this season. I don't want us to look back in November, look back in March and say, if we got that one more player in, we would have done it. I'm tired of that now. I just want to get the business done. And Chris, you mentioned Mikel speaking to BeIN Sport after the Community Shield. He mentioned maybe...
I think sometimes when they're interviewed by not Sky or BT, I think they give out a little bit more to some channels. I don't know if you've noticed that. He was quite open. He says we're going to do some more business. So
that's good.
That is good. That is good to hear. Good. I hope he doesn't mean Raya, because that's what we kind of expected.
Yeah.
So, that'll be interesting.
One more position in, Curtis.
Striker.
Oh, yeah,
Striker.
no doubt. Striker. Listen, we've said it time and time again, man. Strikers, how many times last year did you watch a Man City game? Because we was watching every Man City game at the end, and you're thinking, this could be a draw, and Haaland would score out of nothing. Ball whipped in Haaland, Strikers will win you games at times, when the game's tight. Jesus, a very good player. I think he's a really good player, but that knee injury is a concern. He was out for 3 months last year. He's injured already. Okay, he might not be out for long. If that's a recurring problem, you look behind that. Havertz played up front yesterday. He's not a natural goal scorer. Eddie, is he going to win you a league? Probably not.
None of our strikers are actually natural goal scorers.
Not really, And so for me, he's only signed one striker since he's been at the club, which is Jesus. It's the position he hasn't really addressed that much. I just think he's got to get somebody else in there, but the market's very limited. Or you would have to pay big money for someone, and how much is left in the coppers? That's the thing. So, but definitely a striker.
The thing is, we say everyone comes out with the same names, don't they? Ivan Toney, Tammy Abraham, but there's got to be someone out. I can't believe in the whole of European and South American football there's not a striker out there for Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. I'll just refuse to.
Look at how Alvarez came in out of nowhere to City.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Quality.
And not out of nowhere. There was some hype about him, but it wasn't like he was chased by Europe's elite.
The one I want, but you'll never get him, is Ferguson from Brighton.
Yeah, he's a good
that
player.
would be a.
This time next year, he's a £100 million player.
Yeah,
probably right.
He does look very good.
He's got
like
everything.
A young Wayne Rooney, I think, a bit Rooney.
And the other problem is he's at Brighton, who are a very strong selling club. They don't budge, and they're
I was even thinking in the Championship. I'd even have a look there, but there's nothing, is there? No. Ollie Watkins, but they're not going to let him go.
They're rich, so they'd want a big fee.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he's a walking disaster.
He's injury prone, isn't he?
I don't even trust him.
I think, listen, Tony is the one most people would have gone for. You could still buy him and bring him in January if you think you could get to that point. They're saying Vlahovic is available. You've got Mawani at Frankfurt, but he's expensive. There are options out there if you're shrewd enough.
Balogun? No,
could you use Balogun as a make-weight to a club as well? You got Latoro at Inter, or you've got to get creative.
I mentioned that to Robbie yesterday, because he asked me after the game, after the fan cam, that who would it be then, Zaki? and I said some names, the typical ones, and then Martinez came to mind, and I thought, if you don't want Balogun, then why don't we offer Balogun plus cash and take Martinez off you potentially? There is options out there.
There's even João Felix on loan at the moment, they're saying is available. I know he didn't do great at Chelsea, but there are options if you're creative enough.
Yeah, and I do think Felix's qualities actually suit what Mikel's trying to do, but there's big doubts about him now, and mentally the effect that can take on the player. Is he willing to fight those doubts and come out the back end, or is he going to succumb to the doubts and prove the naysayers right? We'll see. So striker is the one we want, it seems. Comment section, let me know if there's one more position you want to fill in come the start of the season. Is it a striker? What type of striker? Is it out and out for you lot?
Out and out.
That's
for me.
ideal.
Yeah, ideal. Yeah, I want a plan B, someone a little bit different, plays in the area.
And I do.
Physical.
And I do hear, I said this before, but a friend of mine that told me in January that Rice would be coming to Arsenal in the summer, and he was adamant. And you know me, I don't listen. And I was just like, whatever. But Rice has come to Arsenal, so he's got a bit of credit in the bank. He said next season will be the summer that Arsenal go big for a striker. Now, on one hand, I love it, because he mentioned Osimhen and a 100+ million bid for him, and I'd love to grab him next season. On the other, I'm looking at this season as the one.
Do it now.
I'm looking at this season as the one. I don't really want to be waiting any longer.
We don't want to wait. Do you know what it is? I think we all look at Man City and we just think, winning that treble and then losing Gundogan, Mahrez, Walker still being linked with a move. You just feel, can you catch them slightly off guard this year? They're still going to be top quality because they are, but
Gundogan and Mahrez over the last 2, 3, 4 years, when it's the business end of the season in the league and the Champions League, they both get a lot of goals for them.
Yeah.
So that's what they've lost. And Kovacic doesn't replace the goals, technical ability in abundance, and he can help control a game. He can help keep things ticking. But he's not Gundogan who's going to find himself in the box and potentially get you 5,
What
6,
we need
7.
is an Eduardo or a Giroud or a Sanchez. But unfortunately,
scarce now. Giroud, imagine a prime. We just mentioned it off air. Prime Giroud would be the perfect plan B, because he can link up. Yeah. But he can also be that target
he's
man.
Still doing it for Milan. He's still doing it for France.
Yeah.
I don't want to go over old grand, but I still think we replaced him with Lacazette. And I know Arthur's a better player, but that's another day, another story.
Wrong decision, in hindsight.
I think with what your friend's saying there probably is what they're going to do. Because when you look, they've pumped money into the defence and midfield this year. They've got Jesus, Havertz can play there, Eddie's there. I think next year they'll probably go big there. And next year, Kane's out of contract and Osimhen and... there could be a lot of, Tony will be out of the band, then the market's probably a little bit more open.
I know a lot of people turn their nose up at Kane, but I can't lie to you. We was all alive during that Sol Campbell period, and that will go to the grave with me. That was one of the best moments ever.
If that happened.
We should be making an offer.
Imagine just seeing Arteta come out with Kane one day and saying, we've got our striker. We go on to win the league after years of not winning stuff with Tottenham. He breaks the Premier League record at Arsenal.
He's a boy.
Could you imagine?
The thing is, though, if he's out of contract next summer, should we not be having a conversation?
I said we should go for Mbappe, let alone Kane.
Well, I asked Arteta about Mbappe.
You know something? Why are we not I'd have him on loan for a year.
Who?
Mbappe.
Oh, I think we all would, Chris. Yeah, we all would.
I'd ring up. I'm sure, Josh, you could put a business plan to him. Look, we'll sell X amount of shirts. You'll get this amount of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, work out some sort of deal. Look at Messi's at Inter Miami, and Kroenke's a businessman, and Mbappe would sell a hell of a lot of shirts. So would Kane, to be honest.
So would Kane.
But there's 2 strong attackers there next summer. But my head always goes back to this season. Yeah. I'm not even thinking about next summer because I think we've got the potential to achieve big things this season, and I just don't want to regret not doing what potentially we should have done this summer. Last question, Chris. Do you feel we're ready for the season?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Listen, we all as fans, we want perfection, don't we, everywhere. But I think we're in a strong enough position to go for all 4 trophies.
Go for all 4.
Yeah, I think, and like Chris said, if Arteta does say we get another one after the goalkeeper, you never know, we might get a late surprise, something.
And what's your bare minimum? Sorry, I asked Chris earlier.
My bare minimum is, we've got to be the team that if Man City are not quite at 100%, we take it.
Yeah.
I expect top 2, to be honest.
Same.
Because Liverpool, and they're rebuilding. They've let a lot of players go. I think we should be ahead of Man United, considering the manager, how long he's been there. I expect us to win a trophy. I know we've got no divine right to win any trophy, but I think we've got to win one of the domestics. And you know what? That Champions League is wide open. Man City will expect to win it. They're the favourites, but Madrid have lost Benzema. I look at that semi-final Inter against AC. I don't think either one of them are top quality.
It's not
so
like it was.
I expect us to go far in that competition as well.
And again, if Bayern Munich sign Kane, then they're up there as probably the second favourites. Yeah. But we'll see how that one goes. People, you've heard what we've had to say. We want to hear what you have to say, or we want to read what you have to say. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are we ready for the season? If we're not, what do we need to do to be ready? Nottingham Forest is a few days away, so the Premier League is back. Make sure you support Curtis Shaw TV. The channel link is in the title. Big up Chris Hudson as always, Supporters Club regular representative. He'll always be here. So show some love to the video, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed and put the notification bell on. People, love for the love. We are out. Peace.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.